So following on from the previous video, I asked you to integrate this, and then I asked you to press pause and have a go. So now we're going to do it. So so looking at this here, you've got an exponential here, and then here you've got a trig here. Because the trig is higher up in the list, then we should make the trig to be our u. So let this be u, and let this be our v prime. Okay, so now, well, if you look at the formula, if you start off with u here, then eventually you need to differentiate your u. So we got to put this into here because we need to differentiate it each step of the way. So cos 2x goes in here because we need to differentiate it each step of the way. If you look at v here, v prime is this. Eventually we're going to need to integrate it. So if this is our v prime, then we should put it into here, e minus 3x, because each step of the way we need to integrate it. Because if you look at this here, if this is v prime, then we will need to integrate it each step of the way. So here we need to integrate this. Here we need to differentiate. So from here, if you do that, it will then take you to here. It will then take you to here. So now that we've got our table, let's call this whole thing here, what we're trying to work out, let's just call it capital I. So this is capital I here. So capital I equals, well, once you've built your table, then the first term will be this times this. So remember, positive, negative, positive. So this thing here will be a positive, but then you've got a negative here. So the first term will be a negative, that whole thing. So you've got your negative here. And then the second term will be this times this. So it will be a negative, and then you've got another negative inside here. So overall, this will be a positive. So that's why you've got a positive here, this thing here. And then the last term, so here you've got positive, negative, and then the last time you've got to do the integral of the last term here. The hard part is, should this integral be positive or negative? You still got an integral here. Should this integral be positive or should it be a negative? So to find out, you go back one step ahead. So at the moment it's positive, negative. If you look at this here, at the moment it's negative. What does that mean? Hang on. For it to be negative, you will have to have this scenario here. U, V, and then minus integral of, v prime here. No, sorry, v here. And then here you've got u prime v dx here. Well, for this to be a negative, then remember it's negative, this thing here. For this to be a negative, then you have this here. This is a negative, and then if this is a negative, then this here will have to be a positive. So this thing here must be a positive. But because you've got a negative in here, then overall you can take the negative out here. That's why you've got a negative here. Well, this thing here, you have to press pause and really think it through for yourself. Overall, the last part will be this. Actually, press pause and really think it through for yourself. So overall, it will give us this thing here. But then if you look at this here, by the way, this here is a constant, so you can later on take it out. Well, take it out, it will then give you this. Take it out, it will then give you this. But then if you notice here, this thing here is the exact same thing as what we were trying to evaluate. It's the exact same thing. So this thing here is the exact same thing as this. So earlier we said let this be capital I, so we can call this capital I. So that will then take us to here. 4 over 9 capital I. So we are calling this capital I. Okay, and then here we just reimagine it as 9 over 9, which is 1. So the reason why is because we want to get this to have the same denominator as this thing here, a 9 here and a 9 here. Well, anyway, think it through, and it will take you to this stage here. Once you're at this stage here, you've got I here, I here. So what you do is you add this block equally to both sides. That will then take you to here. And then here, here you've got 9i plus 4i. That will give you 15. That will give you 13i, and that will then take you to here. And then blah blah blah. Overall capital I will be this. Think it through. It does actually give you this. Okay. So overall the answer will be this. And by the way, just to illustrate something to you, in this case here, it doesn't matter if you make this to be V prime or if this here to be capital, if this here to be U. Well, if you switch them around, it doesn't matter. In this scenario here, it still works. Okay, I'm just illustrating it to you. So it's blah blah blah, blah blah blah, and then overall the answer would be the same. Overall the answer would be this thing here, and I forgot my C plus C here. Okay.